You ever been up significantly on a trade and you're feeling on top of the world like you're the best trader ever, only to see it disappear and vanish into thin air? That happened to me when I had $115,000 of profit on the table and it evaporated. And not because I had bad luck or the market went against me, but it was because I was a big dumbass. I got greedy and I made a mistake that taught me a very difficult lesson that still follows me today. And that pain point helps me to make good decisions in my trading. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 5 lessons that I learned from this loss that have helped me make significant profits from the markets. What's going on, everyone? Jeremy Ritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. And I want to thank everybody for watching the first video in this series about how I grew my trading account to 7 figures. And I talked about the different videos that would be part of the series. And this is one of them where I talk about the time where I was up 115K only to see myself lose it all because I was a big dumb idiot. This trade was on Netflix in 2023, and the exact date, June 7th, is when I opened this position. And I had purchased 130 total call options on Netflix that expired August 18th at the $555 strike price. And I'll put the chart up here on the screen to show you where I bought. This is on a down day, a red day, and the calls were pretty cheap. And overall, my total investment was almost $16,000. That's how much I spent on this trade. And I had high conviction that it would work because we were coming out of the 2022 bear market. Netflix was significantly down from its all-time highs back in 2021 when it was over 700, which seemed like meek numbers compared to where it is today. And based on my analysis, the trends of the overall market, I believe that Netflix had an opportunity to go. And I was correct in my assessment, but it wasn't the technicals that was the issue. It was this thing here, and it was this thing here. My brain and my heart, my emotions, my lack of discipline got the best of me, and I learned some very valuable lessons that I'm going to share with you today, starting with number 1. Don't be greedy. Take profits. In this Netflix trade, on the day of earnings was where I was monitoring this and making the decision. All right, I need to decide whether or not to get out. And my thinking back then, as I was up 115 was, oh, this thing has more room to run. It's going to pop higher. And that 115K can turn into a lot more. Bottom line, I got greedy. And you could see on the chart that it pushed higher and it went up from when I purchased these calls, $85.12. That was a 21.3% jump just from June into July on this earnings report. And I had this moment right before market close, before the earnings report came out that said, Jeremy, take half profit, cash out half of those calls, and then it's an unlosable trade. Even if it goes against you, you can win. And that's important. We have to lock in gains. Even if we think there's still room for it to run higher, we have to protect ourselves for the event when it goes against us. And guess what? I didn't do that. And to my dismay, to my broken heart, I watched the market close, the earnings result come out, and then there was a big spike. And I was like, yes, this is going to happen. And then boom, it shot down and all those profits disappeared. Lesson 1, take profits and don't get greedy. Lesson number 2, you are not smarter than the market. Listen, we are not in trading and investing because we want to be smart and be like, oh, I know technical analysis. I understand Fibonacci retracements, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not why we do this. We do this to make money. And it's not about being smarter than the market. And here's the thing, we're never going to be. That's not what it's about. And we think our ego tells us, hey, this is going to come back. So after that drop, I even added some calls. I'm like, hey, this is going to come back. But little did I know is that after an earnings report, the volatility, the implied volatility of those call options shrinks and it drops. And so the likelihood that's going to come back and the value is going to come back is slim to none. And so my ego at that point was saying, I'm still right. I'm not going to let go of this trade. I added to the position and I ended up losing more. And what I learned from that looking back was I'm not smarter than the market. The market is the super intelligence. It's going to do what it's going to do, and it's always right. I'm not right. And had I been able to do that, I wouldn't have added more to that position, and I wouldn't have lost the total $16,000 investment that I made. So we have to make that switch that it's not about being smart in the markets or smarter than the markets. It's about taking what the market gives you. You have to get rid of your ego, and you can't just hold on to a position because you don't want to admit you were wrong. And in this case, because I was greedy, I was wrong, and I got kicked dead in the teeth because of it, and I deserved it. Rule number 2, you are not smarter than the market, and that's okay. Lesson number 3, don't let a loss ruin your confidence. So we have to reframe things. This particular loss, sure, it hurt, it stung, and to go from this big, massive profit to watching it all go away and then losing 16K, it's not a good feeling. And there was a grieving period where I had to work through it and try to find the silver lining. And what the positive was is that I was able to identify setup, to set up the trade, and take advantage of the move higher. And it proved to me, it showed me that, hey, you can do this. You can set up big trades. You can make big money from trades. So I had to reframe it and learn from it so that I didn't damage my confidence to where I was afraid or gun shy to trade again. A loss, a loser, no matter how big it is, does not mean you suck at trading or that you can't trade. What it is information. It informs you. It educates you about where you need to make adjustments so that you can continue to grow as a trader. So, lesson number 3, don't let losses kill your confidence. And lesson number 4, trading is all about psychology and emotion. We have to do this. We have to stop trading after a major loss. And you might be asking why. You might feel the pull. I got to get back in there. I got to trade. I got to trade. I got to do this. I got to do that. But here's the thing. You're going to be emotional. Your emotions are going to be intensified, heightened. And that could lead you to revenge trading, to trying to make everything back that you just lost. And I'm here to tell you that when you try to do that and take that approach, more than likely it's going to result in more losses. So when you have a losing trade, and especially a big losing trade, it's time to hit the brakes, take a timeout, and study where things went wrong. Go to paper trading for a period of time, practice trading, and then when you come back to live trading, cut your risk down very small and slowly build yourself back up and your confidence. Because when you're in that type of a mindset, you're going to feel that money is scarce, that it's hard for you to get it. And that's going to make you claw and fight and be desperate for it. And that's a recipe for disaster and a recipe for losing money. So lesson number 4, after a major loss, take a break, take a time out, move the paper, build your confidence back up, and then get back after it. Final lesson number 5, if you are going to be a trader, if you are going to be an investor, and this is the biggest part why people don't stick with trading, is you have to accept that losing is part of the game. And if you cannot accept that, and if you're going to go off the deep end and think that you're a terrible human being or that you suck as a trader and investor because you lost, this is not for you because it's going to happen. You are going to lose. Now, in this case, I didn't need to lose as much as I did, and I had an opportunity to profit. But the way that I had to look at it was, what can I learn from this to prevent it from moving forward? Understanding that, hey, more losses are going to come, but the area where I can improve is I can minimize those losses to where I'm capturing that profit. We have to embrace the risk. We have to embrace that losses are a part of that. And if you're going to be a successful trader, you have to have that David Goggins callous mindset that when you get knocked down or when you fail, you just get back up and you keep pushing and you don't let the losses discourage you. Maybe for a minute or two, but you remind yourself, hey, this is part of the process. This is making me stronger. This is making me better. And knowing that, it allows you to hold on to your confidence, to grow, to get better, and to make sure that you are pushing to become the best trader that you can. So the last lesson, understanding that losing is a part of trading. Look, losing 115K in profit sucks. There's no way around that. And there's still a sting that's associated with that when I think back on that. Even recording this video, I'm saying, damn it, I wish I would have held on to that profit. But it made me stronger. It made me smarter. It made me wiser, this mistake that I made. And it taught me that the most important thing in trading is to protect your capital, to protect your risk. And when you're up significantly on a trade, especially when it's that many times your investment, you have to lock it in, make it an unlosable trade. And when we do that, when we learn, we become better traders who are in this for the long haul and have plentiful, unlimited opportunities. Key here is when you lose, which is part of trading, you want to lose in a way that protects yourself so you're not wiping out your entire account and so that you could stay in the fight. And that's what I want to drive home to you. A loss does not define you, does not mean you're a bad trader. It's part of the process, and it's going to help you grow moving forward as long as you're minimizing and making those losses small. If this video helped you, let me know down in the comments, smash that subscribe button, and share with a trader who needs to hear this. And make it a great day.